Good morning, everyone. Scott Earhart with Insurance Agency Marketing Services here. Before we say anything else, I do want to give you all a big thank you for taking time out of your busy schedules to join us. We certainly do appreciate that. I think you're going to find your time with us here this morning very valuable. We're going to look at one of the best accumulation suite of products available in the FIA market today from Athene, the Performance Elite Series. And in order to take a deep dive into exactly how the Performance Elite works and what it can do for your clients. We have Mr. Robert Johnson from Athene with us. Rob, can you hear me?
Yes, sir. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Fantastic. Thank you very much for your time today, Rob. I know it's a very busy time at Athene, so we appreciate you taking a few minutes for us here today. Before I hand it over to Rob, I'm going to go through a couple of intro slides. And before I do that, I do want to hit on a couple of housekeeping items before we jump in. First housekeeping item, and maybe the most important thing that I say today, is our phone number, 800-255-5055. If there is anything that we can be doing here at IAMS to help you in the life, annuity, wealth management markets, please do not hesitate to give a call. We would absolutely love the opportunity to be assisting you. Second housekeeping item are polling questions. Throughout the presentation today, I'm going to launch a couple of polling questions. They're all going to be yes or no questions, and we certainly would appreciate your participation if you would be so kind to do so. And final housekeeping item is we're going to throw a bunch of information at you here in a relatively short period of time, so I'm sure there will be questions. Rob and everyone at Athene, they do a great job of making sure that they're as transparent as possible and answering questions. So if there are any questions, anything you want more detail on, there's a questions box provided to you on your screen. Please feel free to type those in. We'll do the best we can to answer those while we are live and in session. That being said, let's get into a couple of introductory slides. First slide is for new producers with IAMS. If you are new to IAMS or if this is your first introduction to us, we will offer you a new producer bonus based on production within your first 180 days of being licensed. There are 3 levels that you can choose to cash in at, and as you can see, you've got some great options at each level: cash rewards, business building tools, personal perks. A great thing for you to be taking advantage of. If you'd like more details on the program, or if you'd like to know where you stand towards new producer bonus, just let me know. I'd certainly enjoy having that conversation with you. Top producers escape. Boy, this is one of my favorite things to talk about. In 2018, we will be going to the Boulders Resort and Spa outside of Carefree, Arizona. If you've ever been there, you'll know this is one of the best resorts in the entire country. It's consistently in the top 10 and consistently rated the #1 resort in Arizona. I've been there numerous times. It is a beautiful locale. Just absolutely immaculate property, multiple beautiful pools, great accommodations. If you're a golfer or a tennis player, great golf. They have a world-class spa there. Just a great locale. And in late February, it's going to be absolutely beautiful down there. So 2 million trip credits qualifies you. You can see a breakdown of what you can write to qualify. As always, with Insurance Agency Marketing Services, any piece of business you write will help qualify you towards this. That being said, if you'd like to know where you stand, if you haven't received a letter or an email from us with your standings, just let me know. I can let you know exactly where you are, and certainly would enjoy having you at the Boulders with us early next year. Oh, what happened there? Okay, there we go. Email newsletters, great thing that our creative team can provide to you. If you are not currently sending a newsletter to your clients and prospects, I certainly think you're kind of missing out, and it's a great way for you to keep relevant information in front of your clients and prospects, so the next time that they need a service or a product that you can provide, they don't think to call anyone other than you. Jen, Josh, Tasia, and our creative team, they do a great job with this stuff. If you'd like to learn more about our newsletter service, please give those guys in the creative team a call. They'd love to chat with you. Life and Annuity Academy. We do have an upcoming Life and Annuity Academy next week that applications are closed for. That being said, we do have 2 more coming up. Next one being in September. I'm going to launch a polling question as I talk about this. And what I'm going to ask in this polling question is if you're interested in our Life and Annuity Academy. If you are, click yes. That's not a commitment for you to attend. What that is just saying you are interested in learning more. You'll receive an automated email from us with an overview of the Academy, as well as that will put your name on the interested parties list. So the next time that we do open up applications, you will be the first individuals contacted. What we do in our Life and Annuity Academy is we'll bring you in normally on a Wednesday and have an evening session that Wednesday night. We'll do a full day Thursday, and then we'll do a half day Friday morning. Hopefully have you on a plane and home in time for dinner Friday night. Now, when we sat down to design our Life and Annuity Academies, we definitely wanted to make them stand out and wanted to showcase what we do to help independent producers. So that being said, you're not going to get a product roadshow. Yes, we will talk about products and where they fit in the world, but there's going to be a sales idea to back them up. You'll meet presenters from our office here, myself, Mark Raymakers, who is our life director, Jen, more than likely, from our creative team will be there. And what we'll present to you is what we do and our teams do to help you write business, whether that's case design, product placement, illustration. Everything we do is a back office to help you write more business and be as successful as possible. Creative team, of course, will go through all the marketing and branding that we can create for you here in-house. You will also meet our executive team and ownership team in Steve Murray and Charles Hiring. One of the things that's very unique about insurance agency marketing services is we are privately owned, and our private ownership manages our day-to-day operations. So they definitely want to get to know you. They want to get to know your business. They want to make sure we're tailoring your experience here at IAMS to maximize the benefit that you receive and help you maximize the amount of benefit that you can get from doing business with us. We will bring in individuals from carriers throughout the industry. One thing we ask whenever we have a carrier rep presenting is don't come with your product, come with a sales idea and the niche where your product wins so you can understand that. Now, what I think is the most beneficial about our academies is we're going to bring in at least 4 of our sales coaches from throughout the country. These individuals are top producers. In order to be a sales coach with IAMS, you not only have to talk the talk, but you must walk the walk as well. So that being said, what these individuals will do is show you exactly what they do in their daily practice that makes them a top producer and give you the ability to take that home and implement it in your own practice. That being said, I don't want to spend a ton of time here. I know that I know time is valuable, so I'm going to close down the poll here in a second. If you haven't taken the time to click yes or no, if you would do so, we'd certainly appreciate that. Again, if you click yes, all that's indicating is you have interest in learning more about one of our Life and Annuity Academies, not a commitment on your end to attend. So that being said, poll is closed. Thank you, everyone, for your participation there. We'll move on to paperless.
Scott, don't forget the fact that you'll be there and people from the IAMS office will be there for them to really get to know you all as an organization and how well you guys operate to make sure that their business, when it comes to a thing, is flowing correctly, that contracting is right, new business is right, the all-around approach. Don't forget that as well.
Hey, I appreciate that, Rob. If I forgot to mention that our staff will be there to meet you and show you exactly what it is we do, that is my fault. Normally, I'm too egotistical to forget about myself. So thank you for the reminder, Rob. Moving on, paperless contracting. That subheadline there, save time, be more efficient. We are on the Efficient Forms platform. 90% of the carriers that we offer are on that same platform. We can get you licensed with carriers without having to make you go through those monotonous licensing agreements. definitely help you save time, be more efficient. If you'd like to learn more about our paperless contracting system, please give Chris Mount, our licensing director, a call. She'd absolutely love to chat with you about how to set it up, what we can do to help you with that. And she's an absolute guru with the system. So definitely a wealth of knowledge there. Our website, IAMSinc.com. If you're not registered at IAMSinc.com, please go out and do so. We put a lot of great tools out there to help you in times where it may not be appropriate to call into the office, or if you're working on the weekend and you can't get a hold of me via email. There's a lot of stuff out there that can help you achieve what you need. Links to different carriers, product grids, quoting engines, all available to you at IAMSinc.com. IAMS Wealth Management, really excited about this. This is our newest company that we have brought to the public. It is run by Charles R. Hiring, who is a wealth of knowledge. IAMS Wealth Management is open for business. We are accepting assets currently, really telling a great story from the start to where we are now. And what IAMS Wealth is designed to do is to help you increase your revenue, increase your retention numbers as far as clients staying with you, and help you solidify those relationships even more. Also, it would be amiss if we didn't mention the DOL when we talk about this. IAMS Wealth is a financial institution. We can certainly sign off on the BIC if it comes to that. And if you are a 65 or an IAR, you have a fiduciary responsibility. Therefore, you meet the guidelines to be working with qualified funds. A lot of stuff up in the air with the DOL. I don't want to get too far off into those weeds at this point. But if you'd like to have that conversation, give Charles a call at 888-255-7670, or feel free to give me a call. I'd love to have that conversation with you as well. Retirement Analyzer. One thing that is definitely becoming relevant in our industry is the ability to show your work and show your research as to why your recommendations were in the best interest of the client. The Retirement Analyzer can certainly help you do that in very, very plain language, plain graphs for the client to understand the benefits they'll receive from utilizing your recommendations. Marcus Solar in our office is our point man on the Retirement Analyzer. He knows the system inside and out. If you'd like to start a free trial of it or learn more about how it works, give Marcus a call. He'd certainly be more than willing to spend some time with you, see if this is something that's worthwhile to add into your workflow systems. And in my opinion, it certainly is something that would be very worthwhile to add into your workflow. This is my last slide before I turn it over to Rob, and I love this slide because all I'm going to talk about is putting money back into your pocket. On the right-hand side, we'll start with marketing reimbursement. Rough numbers on marketing reimbursement. For every $100,000 in FIA premium you place with IAMS, we'll put $200 into your marketing reimbursement account. What makes our system unique in the industry is we put very, very few restrictions on marketing reimbursement. If it's for a business building purpose, it's going to count for marketing reimbursement. We're not going to tell you that you've got to use this vendor or you have to spend this much or this is the minimum. If you've got a business building expense, send us the receipt. We'll cut you a check to help you offset that cost. If you'd like to know how much is in your marketing reimbursement account, or if you'd like more details on how it works, just let me know. We can certainly get that information for you. On the left-hand side, referred producer program. Our business here on the wholesale side is so similar to yours out there in the field, in that the best lead that we're ever going to receive is going to be a referral from one of our valued clients or you, our valued producer. So we want to make it worth your while to refer other licensed individuals to us. when you refer a person over to us and they choose to license with any of our carriers, we're going to send you a check for $50 just as a thank you. We certainly do appreciate that. Now, where the real money comes in is as your referral writes business, you're going to get a 20 basis point override on that business. We cut these checks at least quarterly. Steve and Charles sign checks for thousands and thousands of dollars at a time, so it can be very lucrative. With that being said, if you know someone that you think could benefit from doing business with IAMS, certainly feel free to type their name and any contact information you have for them into the questions box. I'll do the best I can to get them recruited over and get them working with IAMS, therefore allowing you to take advantage of the referred producer program. That being said, Mr. Johnson, that brings me to the end of my introductory slides, so I'm going to give you control.
All right. Can you see my screen?
I can, sir.
All right. There we go. All right. Can you hear me okay?
We can hear you, buddy.
We're all set then. Thanks again, Scott. Scott, I do want to just point out the fact that how awesome it is every time we get together. You guys are just amazing to work with. Out of all of the carriers that you all work with, we are honored and humbled that you guys still continue to work with us, especially with these webinars. Allow us to join you all in these webinars. And I know I speak for myself and my boss, Matt Campbell, the regional vice president, Matt Campbell, when I say how grateful we are to have this opportunity to share our product with your audience, your group, and of course to be partners with you guys. So appreciate that, Scott. Thanks a lot.
Hey, thank you,
Let's
sir.
jump
We
right
appreciate you.
Yeah, let's jump right into it. So there are four really kind of major things that Athene products cover. We cover income, accumulation, protection, and legacy. On today, we're going to focus on that second bullet point, the accumulation story. With that, our Performance Elite product has been the number one accumulation play for us since we introduced it to the marketplace. With our Performance Elite, we have made some enhancements to it. They've been out for quite some time now, so some of you all may have seen these enhancements before, but it's always good to have a reminder of this. And for those of you who haven't taken a look at the Athene Performance Elite, I hope that by the end of this that you will think of some clients that you may have in mind or that you may see very soon that could benefit from using this product to really help you close the sale or close some deals or even create some new prospects for your business. Let's jump in. So with our Athene Performance Elite product, we have premium bonuses for up to 12%. That's some of the highest bonuses in the marketplace for premium. And this has nothing to do with an income rider. This is a premium bonus of up to 12%. Some very good market leading credit strategies and also strong liquidity with our plus. Looking at just a few of these with our Performance Elite 10, as you can see, the regular product has a 4% bonus, and the plus product has a 9% bonus on our Performance Elite. It's a 10-year product with a 9% bonus. In the state of California, for those of you out there, it is reduced due to the California law. It's 2% and 5%. Now, for those of you in certain states where the select is available, due to whatever the 10-10 rule is in your state, the bonuses are also switched. And then in Florida, and then for our 15-year, you can see that on our regular, we have a 7%, but on the plus side of the product, we have a 12% bonus and 9% in the state of Minnesota. So with the Performance Elite products, we have two I would say capped strategies powered by the S&P 500 and four uncapped strategies built on three volatility control indices, including new indices from Morningstar and BNP. Now, our Morningstar and BNP indices, we're going to jump into those, but right now with these caps, these are some of the strongest caps in the marketplace. For our Performance Elite 10 on the S&P, that is the regular S&P strategy. We have a 5%, and even on the monthly cap, right now you have a 2.2 on the 15 and 2.1 on the 10-year. So remember, with the monthly cap, you're looking at 12 months. So you can look at all 12 months with that 2.1, and ultimately you can really see some gains in the marketplace using that monthly cap. With our BNP and our Morningstar, those have participation rates, which means that there are no caps. So whatever the market performs in these indices, that is what the client will get based upon the participation rate. So if there's 115% participation rate and the market returns 5%, they're going to get 115% of that. They're going to get more than what the market returned. So let's jump right into these two indices. With the BNP strategy, our goal is to provide the client with a diversified opportunity globally to see some returns in their product. Also, we have created this proprietarily with the BNP with this volatility controlled index. BNP is one of the third largest banks in the world. And if any of you all are tennis players, you probably have seen some of their advertisements over with the French Open. Morningstar, high volatility. We have high quality dividend paying companies. And again, we have created a proprietary methodology with these volatility control index. BNP has presence in 75 different countries, including the United States and Europe. Very strategic focus on innovating and being a bank that can really change how we view how we are viewing indices going forward. Morningstar, I would almost argue that Morningstar is a household name for anyone who has spent any time in maybe the registered world or even the insurance world, especially with their innovative ideas and their research. They are one of the leading providers for independent investment research to provide the public with great news on what to invest in different investments. They evaluate over 500,000 investment offerings, and they are recognized for very good leadership in the investment marketing place. So how does the BNP work? With the BNP, you have these asset classes. You have 8 different asset classes. And what we do is we take 2 commodities, we take 2 from the US, 2 from the European asset classes, and then 2 from the Japanese. So we're looking at, you could see, we're looking at equities and we're looking at futures, at the 10-year futures for the countries. And then for the commodities, we're looking at gold and livestock. So what BNP does, they take all of these asset classes and put them into this proprietary system. And they filtrate it out every single day. They rebalance it every single day, and they take the top 5 of those performing ones, and then the index tracks those top 5 performing. So let's say that the European, I'm not going to use the U.S. as an example, but I will use the European ones. Let's say that the Europeans have they've taken a dive. So what we'll do is we'll trade those 2 asset classes for other ones that are performing better, or the Japanese asset classes aren't performing well based upon whatever is going on in whatever's going on in their country at the time. Something could have happened where that forced their asset classes to go down. And so then we trade those in. So they do this every single day. They track these every single day. So looking at the S&P 500 index and then our BNP, if you look at where we start, right here, where we start and where we finish, ultimately it's, I would almost say, similar. But the ride for the client, if your client was in the S&P, which is the dark green line, you could see that they were having a good time, and then all of a sudden when '08 hit, they felt the pressure. Probably if any of you all who are registered on this call probably got a whole lot of calls during that period of time. And they felt that pressure because they never really could get back up to where they were until around 2014. Then they started to feel a little bit better. But with the BNP, if we look here, those clients, they took that ride. They never even had to worry. They stayed on a steady growth pattern and never seen any loss in their account. So using the BNP is a really good way to provide your client with peace of mind. It gives them that opportunity. Yeah, we may end at the same place where the S&P does, but the ride, getting there, less stressful for the client, definitely less stressful for our agent. Looking at the Morningstar, taking the top 75 dividend yielding companies. So we know that companies that yield dividends usually outperform those who are not paying dividends to their holders. So companies that are paying dividends, they are in a more steady financial place and they have the money to pay dividends. So we're tracking the top 75 of those. So if one company is in the top 75 and they happen to drop out, we replace them. We replace them with the one that is at the top because we want to make sure that we're looking at the U.S. equity market with these. So as you can see here, Morningstar, we have top 75 with the highest dividend yield, and it aims to achieve 5% average on annual standard for the returns. Let's look at this in comparison as well, just like we did the BNP. So looking here, the S&P 500 is the blue line, Morningstar is the red line. So as you can see, the ride here is just like the BNP. The clients had absolutely nothing to worry about when it came to the Morningstar because they weren't going to lose any money. So had they been in the S&P, again, they would have taken that dive, and a lot of our agents and financial advisors would have received a ton of phone calls during this time because clients were nervous. They were scared about what was going to happen if they were going to make their money back, if they had time to make their money back. But with the Morningstar, as you could see, those clients were not worried at all. And actually, financial advisors and agents looked like heroes to their clients at this point because while some friends of theirs were losing money, they were on a steady growth pattern. This chart here definitely shows the power of putting your clients or diversifying your clients into an indexed annuity. No matter what type of insurance that you do, whether it's PNC, health, whether you're a securities guy, putting your client in an indexed annuity could really help diversify their assets. Looking at the performance, as you can see here, we're looking at participation rate, the lowest, the most recent, and the highest. With the Performance Elite 10 on the BNP strategy, the highest return on the hypothetical movement that we see is 6.93. That's 6.9%. 6.9%. That's a pretty good return. Even looking at the Performance Elite 15, 8.08%. 8% return. We haven't seen those in a long time, especially not in an index annuity. Now let's discuss a little bit of the differences between our base product and our plus product. With the Performance Elite, your client can get the base product. If you all remember earlier, the base product on the 10 has a 4% bonus, and on the 15 has a 7% bonus. If they get just the base product, then your client will then have, they can take required minimum distributions, RMDs if need be. They will have a confinement and terminal illness waiver up to 100%, which means that if they are confined for a consecutive of 60 days, then they could take all of their money out up to 100% to help offset that cost, and then they will also have 5% penalty-free withdrawals. Also, they'll have the BNP and the Morningstar as well. Now, if they were to take a look at the plus version, if you remember, the 10-year would give them a 9% bonus on a 10-year product and a 12% bonus on a 15-year product. Let's say you had them in another product prior to looking at the Performance Elite and you're looking to roll over some funds. Using the plus might not be a bad option, because then you can offset any surrender charge or any fee that they may have had to pay to get out of that old product to come into a better product, especially using that BNP with the participation rate. Looking at the plus, they will get 10% penalty-free withdrawals. They can also still take RMDs, required minimum distributions. Now, here's another cool part about this. If they have the plus version, if they did not take 10% in the first year of the product, the second year, they can actually take 20% of their accumulated value, free with no charge. And then also, they have a return of premium after the fourth year using the plus. They get into this product, they don't like the performance, they're not happy with what they're receiving. We give them an off-ramp. We give them an opportunity to say, you know what, I've decided that this isn't working out. I want to go ahead and get a divorce from this product and move on to a different product. We will return their premium minus any withdrawals, of course. So if they did take a withdrawal, it would be their premium minus the withdrawal will equal whatever the net value that they will receive at that time. If they took no withdrawals, then they will get their premium back using the plus version. The plus version does come with a small fee of 95 basis points. That is not to change for the entire product. Also, it is deducted from the annuity accumulated value. It's considered a liquidity rider, so don't let it confuse you with the income rider. This is considered a liquidity rider, not an income rider, but it provides more enhancements for your accumulated value. The rider cannot be terminated during the withdrawal charge period, but at the end of the surrender period, that 95 basis points charge goes away. Let's say you had a 50-year-old, something happened where mom or grandma or someone passed away, they inherited some funds, they really don't need to touch them, they want to save them. So you can put them into the plus, get a nice bonus, get the return of premium just in case, And of course, just in case they need to take out funds up to 20%, they can do that. And then you can let this thing ride all the way for 10 years until they're 60 years old. At that time, they're they're not being charged with a rider charge anymore. The rider fee is done at that point, and they can continue to go. They can continue to ride it out with their indices, whether it's the BNP, the Morningstar, the S&P, whatever they feel comfortable with, whatever their risk tolerance is. That's where we would like to see them go. Taking another look at the withdrawal, I want to just make sure I explain exactly how this works. If you take nothing in the first year, you can take 20% in the second year. So if you take 5% in the third year, you can only take 10% in the fourth year. So I know we get a lot of questions, especially my partner, internal sales support, John Cravens. A lot of people call in, and when they're talking to him, they're always asking, so if I only take a little bit or 2% in the third year, can I still take the remainder of whatever that amount is? So if I take 2% in the third year, can I take 18% in the fourth year? The answer is no. So if you take 0% in year one, 0% in year two, still in year three, the maximum amount you could take is up to 20%, not 30%, but 20%. Looking at the differences and what the client can get using our base product versus our plus product. So using the base product, they'll get a premium bonus. With our plus, they'll get an enhanced bonus. Again, I like to reiterate, please make sure you double check your state, but for most states, you have a 4% bonus on the 10. If you get the plus, 9%. On the 15, you have a 7% bonus, but if you do the plus version, you have a 12% bonus. You still maintain your terminal and confinement waivers. You have free withdrawals and RMDs. You could take RMDs in year one and on from this contract. But with the plus version, you only have a 5% withdrawal compared to what we just discussed. With the plus, you have a 20%. So base version, you have a 5% withdrawal. If you get the plus version, you have up to 20% if you don't take anything in year one. And then, of course, you have the return of premium. The return of premium benefit goes on to the plus. Just reiterating, that is their off-ramp. That is the way that if anything was to happen or if they had any questions about the performance and they wanted to get out of this contract, we will allow them to activate the return of premium. We do offer client brochures, agent quick reference guides, sales concepts, illustrations, and webinars on these products to help our agents with the sale. If you're going in to see a client, we can get you out some client brochures, and some of our agents really even take their quick reference guide with them just in case they get a question while they're in the house with the client that they may have either forgotten or they just wanted to double check to make sure that they answer it correctly. So some of them take that quick reference guide and they refer to it. Obviously, you can't give that to the client or leave that with the client. That's for agent use only. And then, of course, we have sales concepts to really help guide our agents with an opportunity to not just talk about product, but to see how that product can work within your client's situation. So it's not just a product dump on the client, but it's to talk about their need and to compare their need to how this product can be the solution for what they're looking for. And of course, if you need an illustration, please call in to our desk, call IAMS, call Scott and his team. You can call us as well if you need anything. We want to make sure that you're armed with all of the necessary materials for you to be successful when you get in front of these clients to talk about the Athene Performance Elite. Just a quick recap, great premium bonuses. Again, market-leading crediting strategies with the BNP and the Morningstar. I mean, those participation rates are just phenomenal. Not many products, and I can't even think of one right now that will offer the client high rates, great premium, a great premium bonus, and an opportunity to get out in the fourth year with a return of premium, all in one product. Now, some products may have one feature of this, but not many products have all of these in one. So I want to make sure that we're providing you guys with everything that you need, and especially with that liquidity option as well. I like the liquidity option because you never know when life is going to take its course. Anything could happen. I know in 2014 I lost my mom. Luckily, she had an annuity, and so life took its course. We were able to take a withdrawal. We were able to, instead of just cashing it out, just take a withdrawal to pay for the funeral costs and everything. Life takes its course, so you never know when your client may need that 20%. So I really like that option as well. Just taking a quick look at the issue ages and kind of just a quick little glance at the product as a whole. Based upon whatever state you're in, please make sure you get with us or get with IAMS on double checking your state. But with the Performance Elite, most states you have 0 to 78. It's going to be your age parameter, and for the 15, 0 to 73. One thing I do want to point out on here is that the minimum premium on this product is $25,000. We are pretty strict on that number. When it comes to exceptions, we have not received many, if any. So the client must have $25,000 or more in order to get into this product. We will accept up to $1 million without home office approval. At $1 million, I do want to point out that you will need to submit a large case exception form. So get with IAMS on that form. If you have a client that's a high net worth client and they're looking to make some moves into this product, they want to put in more than $1 million, get with Scott right away so that he can help you get that large case exception form to myself and John so that we can get it submitted and approved for an exception. Of course, the premium bonuses, again, I can't reiterate enough. Please make sure that you double check your state, the vesting schedule, the withdrawals, the surrender schedule, and then, of course, that small rider charge of 95 bips if they want to get the liquidity rider and get that plus version of the product. So I want to thank you all for taking time out of your day to spend some time with us. I know you guys could be doing anything right now. You could be selling, talking to clients, doing a seminar, having a lunch and learn, whatever at this point in time. But we appreciate you taking the time to sit with us. And of course, a big thank you to IAMS for allowing us again to continue to come on these webinars to share what Athene is offering and how we can create and be a solution for some of your clients' needs. With that, I'll turn it back over to Scott.
Hey, thank you, Rob. Great job as always. I'm gonna take control back now, and yes, I took control back. We do have a couple of questions that came in, so if there are any questions, feel free to type them in. We'll do the best we can here to answer them, and I'm going to launch our last poll of the day. And what I'm asking here is if you'd like to see contracting information from Athene. If you liked what you saw today on the Performance Elite, as I'm sure you did, just click yes. We'll get you out those product brochures that Rob alluded to, as well as some licensing information for how we can get you appointed with Athene and get these great products added into your offering portfolio. That being said, as we leave that poll up, we'll get into a couple questions. Rob, I have two really good questions that came in, so I'm excited
Sure.
about this. First one, we're talking about the volatility indices. A gentleman asks,
Okay.
what does the volatility 5 or the 5% volatility actually mean?
Great question. So when you're looking at a volatility control, simple way of putting it, and if you want more detail, we can take it offline. But the simple way of putting it is that if the market is on a big high or a big low, we're on a bull or bear, however the market is going within whatever the index that this is tracking, then if it hits 5% or if it hits 5% up or 5% down, it begins to correct itself. So, for example, in the BNP, they have different levers where if it goes up too high, then they can begin to trade in, let's say, an asset class to kind of temper it for that steady growth of the client. If we go back to that chart that we were looking at where the S&P had the peaks and the valleys, if you notice with the BNP, you didn't have that because of that volatility control. So it didn't have those really highs or really lows. It gave the client a smoother ride. And we can go more into it if they would like to give us a call as well, Scott.
I muted myself while I was letting you talk. Absolutely. If you'd like to dive into exactly what that volatility looks like, what the options are when it moves outside of its normal
Correct.
range, we can certainly have that conversation. John and Rob at Athene are well versed in that. Myself, my team here at IAMS, we're very well versed in it. Just give us a call. We'd love to have that conversation. Now, another gentleman's typed in a question. I can't tee anything up for you better than this, Rob. So, we're gonna have to pay this
Okay.
gentleman for teeing it up this good. Very
Okay.
simple question here. Have you back tested these products?
Yes. So everything that you see, these products are only about what, a year old, Scotty? I believe. I believe
Yeah,
they're about a
yeah.
year old. And so the only way for us to really get this type of information, especially comparing it to 2008 when the product was only around and since 2014, 2015-ish, um, we are back testing this with so many different, I mean, it's insane with how much of the, and we're not even using um, the best time periods. We're only using, I believe it's the most recent 10, the geometric mean, and then also I believe we back tested, I'm going to say, I think it's 21 years. And what we can do, if they want to take a look at how we back test it, is we can run an illustration. And on the illustration, it gives you the specified period in which we are looking at and how we're coming up with whatever assumed interest rate that we're presenting at that time.
One thing, and why I know this was teed up so great when we speak to Athene about this, is they do probably more comprehensive back testing than any other company that we work with. I've seen their back testing models. They go back, they buy a policy allocated the way your client wants it allocated every single day for that term, and then show you what it would have done with actual returns had the product been in place based on those current participation and cap rates. It is true back testing with Athene. And one thing I really like is they do, even though we showed it in today's presentation, which is the highest it's ever done, they're not showing that to the client. So you don't have to go back and have that conversation. Oh, I saw 8% in my illustration and I only earned 6.5. That's not okay. They're not going to put you in that position. They're not interested in
Correct.
illustration wars. They're interested in showing clients what reality is, what they should be expecting out of these products and their performance. So if you'd like to
Correct.
see one of those illustrations, again, John or Rob at Athene or anyone on my team here at IAMS, we can certainly run those for you, and we'd love the opportunity to show you how this stacks up against the competition out there.
Yep, absolutely, absolutely.
Anything you want to add to that, big dog?
I was just going to say, if we need to get that detail, because I know that certain clients, I mean, I've ran into situations where you have like an engineer, that's one of your clients, and they're digging down deeper and deeper, and they want to make sure we can always get with our actuarials and product guys and provide you with an Excel spreadsheet on kind of what we're looking at. I would be careful going down that rabbit hole because it can get pretty deep. But we're more than happy to show our agent, hey, here's kind of where we're looking at. There are hundreds of different dates and time periods that we're looking at to make sure that we're providing them with the best, I would say, feasible answer that we can give them with our assumed interest rate. Now, you do have those who just take the high time periods and say, all right, we're going to take the rate during that high time period and then use that as the assumed interest rate. Just like Scott said, we don't do that. We're going to look at everything and we're going to figure out how can we forecast this going forward? What is an actual return that we can expect or assume based upon what has happened in the past?
Absolutely. Athene does a great job with their illustrations. That being said, that's going to bring us to the end of our presentation today. I'm out of questions for you, sir. I'm going to close down the polling question here. So if you haven't taken the time to click yes or no, if you would please do so, we'd certainly appreciate that.
Click yes. We would love to. Once you get contracted with us, not only do you get a call from ours, but you also get a call from us as well, and we can go over more and more of these exciting solutions for your clients.
Absolutely. Absolutely. We'd love the opportunity to earn your business, and we'd love the opportunity to earn your business with Athene. That being said, we are at the end of our presentation. Rob, anything you'd like to say to the group before we sign off?
Just want to say thank you for your time, and thank you, Scott.
Hey, thank you, Rob. Appreciate you giving us 45, 50 minutes out of your day. And to everyone that joined us, to echo what Rob said at the beginning, we do thank you so much for your time. We know that 45, 50 minutes with us is 45 or 50 minutes where you're not out prospecting and selling, so we do greatly appreciate it. I look forward to speaking with you all very, very soon, and go out and have a great sales day, everyone. Thank you.
Thanks, Scott. Bye-bye.